All right, maybe like another 30 seconds and then we'll start. I do see some of you have your cameras on. That's great. So if y'all saw that announcement, you do need cameras and mics working for this class. So I know the first day, sometimes technology doesn't want to cooperate. So if it's giving you a tough time, hopefully you can get it up and working by tomorrow. All right, well, welcome to Algebra Express. We have two professors for this class. So I'm Professor Wise.
Does this work? I have no idea how this works. Does that work?
It's up. You can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably better, huh?
We can see it. Do you want to introduce and start?
Yeah. Do you want to start off now? I usually wait like maybe 5 minutes first day.
Oh, okay. We can wait longer if you like.
I can always guarantee. Well, where are we at? 25? I think we might be there though.
We do have your tablet, you and I, and then 2 more. So I think we're at 20 or 19. But I mean, they can watch the recording.
This is true.
If they missed the beginning.
All right. So welcome to Math 1314 Developmental Math 0414. They put two classes together, and I think it's what, a 7-hour course, and it is called Algebra Express. So you're basically taking 2 courses here. I'm the second professor here. My name is Matthew Sievers, he, him, his. The best way to reach me is through my email. My email is right here, matthew.sievers@austincc.edu. I'm going to forget which screen I'm sharing this on is what's going to happen. I just realized that. There's like 3 different screens happening here. Okay. The other thing I have on here is my phone number. And I'm just going to like kind of put this out there. Don't try to reach me that way. That is not a good way to reach me. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I don't really check that regularly. I'm going to check my email regularly. Shoot me an email. That's probably the quickest way to get a hold of me. My office location is going to be within this classroom. I'm going to be in this classroom right before class, 30 minutes before class. So if you need help with anything, those are going to be my office hours. If those don't work for you or you need to talk to me some other time, we can try to arrange something. Just contact me, either talk to me in person or shoot me an email. And I guess go ahead, introduce yourself, probably.
All right, so I'm Shauna Wise, or Professor Wise. Again, best way to reach me is email. I mean, we're not even on campus anymore, so phones are not really useful. Definitely email. We're on our computers a lot nowadays, so that's the best way. You do want to, I'll say this here and I'll say it again later too, you do want to email both of us, because 1, we both should know what's going on since you're both of our students. We want to make sure we're on the same page. And 2, you'll get a faster response, because if you email 2 people, 1 person might see it before the other and you'll get a quicker response. So you always want to email both of us. And we'll show you later on Blackboard how you can do that. There's that phone number, don't use it. There's my email. Again, that's on Blackboard. The emails are listed here in case you want to hand type them in, but you really want to use the Blackboard link that we'll show you later. Office location again is on Zoom. And then my office hours are after class. So you can come join me if you have questions after class. And again, to schedule something outside, just let me know. I also have more hours than are listed on here, which I'll go over later. I have about 19 hours a week separately from this class that are available for assistance. It does change a little bit throughout the semester because I'm teaching another class, so it'll change, but I have a lot of hours available. So if you need help, make sure to reach out. My role in this class is to teach the developmental part. So I'm really your support. I mean, we're both your support, but that's my role in this class, is that developmental algebra piece.
Okay. Rearrange some screens here, I think. Try to figure out where it works best.
It's the computer.
About your course of instructional methodology. So this is what they call synchronous virtual class meetings. So you are required to come to class. We're going to have daily class meetings, Monday through Thursday.
Just go over the syllabus. If you just write down these things,
This,
like I said,
Can you see my notebook?
you'll be fine.
if you're not using your mic,
Stop.
if you can
With
mute
the
it,
attitude
that would be
today.
really
Just because
nice.
you can't hear it doesn't mean you can't fix it. Okay? She's just talking about the fucking syllabus.
Okay, I'm
This is what
trying
the
to go
first day
through and
is.
mute whoever that is, but I don't know who it is. I'm muting everyone I can find. I'm not sure who it is though.
Okay. So this is a synchronous virtual class. So we're going to come in here daily from 12 to 1:40, I believe is the class time for both of them put together. I think they might be separate when you like registered for them. So it might have said like 12 to something and some from something to 1:40. We're going to be in here for that full time, basically. Where am I at? So this is Math 1314-052 is the course number for this course and the synonym for the course. And then the other thing here is the Math 0414. This is the developmental, and this is the course number for that, and this is the synonym for that. This is the Zoom meeting ID. They give you a passcode. I don't think you really need a passcode. There's also the link for the Zoom. That's the first page of the syllabus. I got new technology, so I'm still kind of trying to work things out a little bit, but prerequisites for this. So you should have either the NCBM 0270 with the grade C or higher, or TSI score to be into this class. Do you know what that is off the top of your head?
I don't, I'd have to look. And they also just started doing a new TSI test. So there's 2 scores we have to look for now.
Yeah, these things change pretty regularly. Paired course policy, this is a paired course. If you withdraw from one of them, you're gonna withdraw from both of them, basically. You're either in this course or not. This is a first day class. So the way that we're gonna get our college algebra materials is through the first day system. Basically, they've already included this in your student fees, is what this is kind of saying. And I believe they have both the textbooks here. This is the college algebra textbook, is that first one that they have there. The Roxwald is going to be the college algebra. The other one that is the intermediate algebra is the developmental math textbook. And that one is actually free. You don't even have to pay for that one. It's just up there free on OpenStax. It's also free on Kindle. There's a few links in the Blackboard for both of these, and we'll go through those in a second when we go through like the Blackboard structure and all that good stuff. Let's see. So we have Roxwald and we have Marichek. Those are the 2 names I'm basically going to be saying all semester. And make sure you're in the right book, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We start out really heavily with the Marichek. If you look at the schedule, you'll probably also see it. But we start out really heavily in the intermediate algebra, and we sprinkle in a little bit of college algebra in there until it pretty much becomes a full college algebra course towards the end, you know. What else? MyLab Math is an optional sort of thing. I don't think you probably really need it, if I'm being honest. We got 2 professors that you can work with here, and we got lots of material to go over that is not that, and I can give you more supplemental material. But if you want it, it's there. The MyLab Math is part of the Pearson product sort of thing. Calculators. So you're going to need either a scientific or business calculator. So you need to make sure it has a log and an LN or a natural log key. If you can't purchase one, they do have calculators at the library. Don't know personally like how they're doing things now that things are at a distance, but I think you can still check them out. I know the browser that we're going to do the test in, I know it has a little calculator in there. I'm not sure what all functions are in that calculator though, if I'm being honest. So it might be good, it may not be good enough, I don't really know. I know one thing that we're going to do is things with matrices. So being able to have a calculator that does matrices and stuff like that would be really beneficial for that section when we get there. Again, you could probably work around not having one, but it's probably more ideal to have one.
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I live like by Texas State. Do I have to have a student ID to go get a calculator from the library over there?
At Texas State?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
from Texas State, yeah.
Yeah, because they usually check your ID so that it makes sure you bring it back.
Because I don't think they have any other libraries.
Well, you can go to an ACC campus. We have libraries at the ACC campus.
Yeah, and another thing I might suggest, one person's lost is another person's gain, I guess. It's a kind of horrible place, but you might be able to pick up some calculators from the pawn shop. Sometimes I always see them in there when I go in there. Sometimes they got the school writing on there still, what school they came from, but sometimes.
What about Walmart?
Yeah, I mean, you can buy them probably new from Walmart. The thing with that, I think the TIs run like close to $100 new though. They're probably $80 or something like that. It's been a minute since I bought mine, so I couldn't tell you what the current price is.
I've had some buy them on Amazon or like eBay or something. Like they get one that's been used. It says like lightly used, or I don't know what the descriptions are, that are a lot cheaper. And then I think if you do it on Amazon, you have Prime or whatever, you have that guaranteed return in case it's broken. I'm not sure. But it's an
Yeah.
option.
My dogs are gonna rambunctious, sorry. I personally like I think mine is the TI-84 is what I have. But anything that's an 82, 83, 84, you should be, 82s are pretty old. I don't think you'll find too many of those out there, but anything within that range, the TIs is what I would really recommend as well. I know there's other brands, Casio and all that, but like you'll hear me rant in my video, probably if you watch the lecture, they all kind of do things their own way sometimes. They do order of operations in weird ways sometimes. And that's sort of why I kind of prefer the TIs. And that's why I think a lot of mathematicians kind of like really gravitate towards the TIs, is because they do order of operations correctly. And the other ones you have to kind of guess.
We have a question about the TI-30XS. I don't know if that one has matrices on it. I'd have to look.
Yeah, I think that one's got the logs on there, but I don't know if it's got the
Yeah.
matrices.
I'm pretty sure it has
What day do we
logarithms.
need the calculators by?
We'll go through the schedule, so you'll see like when you need the like stuff probably for like the matrices. Is probably some of the first hardest stuff that you're probably going to really need a calculator for. Everything else I feel like is like first lesson is like order of operations. You probably won't need a calculator, and using a calculator will probably like not be beneficial for you on order of operations. It's something you probably need to work through, right? It's like it's not going to be large numbers or anything crazy. It's going to be pretty straightforward stuff, hopefully. And again, like I said, I have my own preferences, but if you buy something else and you need help, like figuring out how the heck it works, we have office hours. You can always come like ask us, like, well, what's going on with my technology? Worst I can tell you is I have no clue. I might be able to help you work through it. Other technology. So the other thing we're going to need is a webcam and mic for this class. And we're going to use Respondus, a lockdown browser and monitoring system. So you have to be recorded when you take the test. There's no way around that. We need an active camera for you to take the test. We have to be sure it's you taking the test. We're going to do things through Respondus, and I said it probably later in the syllabus, but like if you're having problems, like I'm going to be in the classroom during the test. And so like if you're having problems getting that stuff to work, there's no excuse basically not to go to the classroom. I don't know. I've had students just like, it didn't work. And it's like, you got to come either email me or come to the classroom. You can't just like be like, it doesn't work and like not take a test. You got to get those things done. Yeah, I think we talk a little bit more about the test later, but that was just the technology for the test. Did you want to like maybe go
through the calendar? Is that, or did you have something else you wanted me to cover? I mean, the calendar's not all that exciting. It just tells you what we're doing every day. Today's introduction, and then you can see we're working through some chapter 1 and chapter 2 this week, and that's in the developmental course book. So it's a lot of kind of review of those basic skills like order of operations and things like that. So you can see the 2 textbooks are listed on here. So you know that how do you say that? The how do you say it?
I've heard it pronounced Marichek.
Marichek, that's interesting. Okay. But the Marichek is the developmental one and the Roxwald is the college level one. So you can kind of tell what you're going to be going to. Make sure you do your homework and work and everything in the right book. Don't go and do the wrong one. So pay attention to the book so you don't get confused or study the wrong thing or turn in the wrong thing and not get credit.
Everything should be in order, like in Blackboard, like the notes and homework and everything should be in this order. And if it's not, just like definitely let us know like pretty quick, and we'll get it in the right order.
Those test dates all on there. I usually recommend students highlight, circle, star, fireworks on your paper, whatever you need around those test dates. Put them in your Google Calendar, put them in an alarm, write them on a sticky note, put them on the fridge, whatever you got to do so that you don't schedule any doctor appointments or dentist teeth cleaning or vacation or anything like that on those dates. Being present, obviously, as often as possible is the best because once you miss something, it's really, really hard to get caught back up. And tests are really important. So put those dates, write them somewhere, highlight them, however you want to do that to make sure you don't miss those tests. I'm going to keep scrolling. There's a holiday in there. Usually we don't need to remind students of that and have them highlight it. They know. Usually students tell me, oh, we're not going to be here. I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. That's the date that students usually remember when they don't have to come to class. There's right here the important dates. So the last day for a 70% refund is September 13th. And then the last day to withdraw is the 18th of November. So again, these dates are here. So if you're feeling like this course isn't right at this time for you, for whatever reason, that you can reference that in the syllabus. So you know the dates by when you have to do certain things. Any questions on that? The calendar? No. Okay.
They have a pretty late withdrawal date for ACE.
I think it's funny that they add these are the only holidays, like just in case you wanted to add another holiday, like today's like cat mom holiday, so can't come to class, like just in case they have it on there. These are the only days. You want me to go through the getting help since that's a little more developmental?
Yeah, I would just say like, I know we're in a different format now and it has its advantages and disadvantages, and this little thing about like making time to learn. I say it in the when I go through the notes, but like if you can go through the notes and you think you know how to do something in the notes before I do it, like try it out, like try to do stuff on your own as much as possible. It's going to be really easy to sort of like rely on someone else in this class. And like I want you to push yourself to do things on your own. You can sit there and copy everything. You're not going to learn math doing that. Like you have to be active, and you have to be active doing the math. That was maybe, I think we maybe say that later. That's not what that says.
Well, my
It's
big
a little
thing,
different, but yeah, still valid thing to say.
yeah, my big thing about making time to learn is, remember, as a college student, 12 units is full time. Like if you think of a full-time job, a job is like 40 hours a week full time, right? So 12 units is full time. How many credits is this class? Do y'all know? Anyone know?
7.
7. So
7.
that's more than half of your full-time units. So if you're looking at it, relating it to a job, 40 hours a week is full-time. If we're at a little more than half, like you're spending a lot of time every week on this class, a lot. And if you're not, you might struggle, you might not pass, you might get behind, and then all those things kind of come up. So if you're the type of person who's like, I'm working a full-time job, I'm raising 3 kids, and I'm taking this class and 2 other classes, you're gonna have a really hard time just because it's not physically possible to be at all those things in the amount of time in a day. So just keep that in mind. You might want to use like a calendar or a schedule and like block out time, where you're going to dedicate to this class so you don't end up getting too busy to not be able to stay on top of it. Like it's a lot. We're going to tell you day 1, 7 units is a lot. So definitely make sure that you have the time for this class. Any questions on that? On like kind of just the expectations on the time required?
When I was going through college, it was always 3 hours outside for every 1 hour in is what they suggested if you wanted to make an A. So I think that would amount to like 21 hours basically outside of this class every week.
And that doesn't include the in-class time.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Not to scare y'all off, we want you to stay and we want you to pass, but we also want to be realistic with you. I don't want to say, oh yeah, you just need like 15 minutes a day outside of class, and then you don't pass and then you get frustrated. So just to be very upfront, like you are going to need a lot of time for this class because it's 2 classes.
I will say this though, I would put money on the people that take this class over the people that take probably just the 13, 14 by itself though, because the way this class is structured is the way that you're supposed to do math. Like you're supposed to do a little bit each day. Like we know from like all the studies out there, cramming does not work to learn. Like you can say like maybe that's the way it's not the way you learn. Like we know better. Like doing a little bit each day, like is really the way that you're going to get math down. And we're going to do that. Like it's 2 classes put into 1. It's going to be some time.
All right. So any questions on that before I go on how to get help?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So getting help. So part of all those hours that you're setting aside for you to do homework and you to like review stuff and you to watch the lectures is also time for you to get help. Because the worst thing is when it's 2 a.m. in the morning and you have something due and you're like, I can't get help from anybody because no one else is awake at 2 a.m. in the morning for tutoring. So getting help, scheduling that time in is really important. I am an instructional associate, which is that second option. That's why I said I have so many hours outside of class available for help. I have had students in the past who say, math is tough for me. Math has always been difficult. I've always struggled. So what they've done is they've made sure to put it in their calendar to meet with me like once a week, just to check in, or twice a week, whatever it is that they're looking at. They've started that from the first week of school so that they don't get behind. Terry, did you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to find out, first of all, good afternoon. I wanted to find out how are we going to turn in our work?
We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. We're going to show Blackboard and we'll show you the links to click. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. There's all these other options as well. Office hours are great because you get to work with us. Instructional associates, I'm not the only instructional associate. There's more, so you can work with any of us. There's the Learning Lab tutors, which is a great resource as well. Academic coaching and ACC student services. So there's a lot of support if you want it. It's there. Anyone have any questions? I want to make sure I stop for questions just so that if you have them, you don't feel like you're interrupting us. No? Okay. Oh, wait, see something in the chat. Has that been there for a while? Oh, no, that's been there for a while. Never mind. Do you want to go down to the grade components? You want to go over this part since I just did the last?
Sure. So grade components. So there are going to be 7 exams and a comprehensive final. It's like a 2-part final. The first part's kind of like a normal test. It's not really a final, but there is a comprehensive part to the final. So comprehensive means it's going to take basically all the material that we've done the entire semester is what it's going to be over. And that sounds really intimidating when I first say it, but if I'm being honest, like the way that math works is it kind of builds on itself, and this class really builds on itself. So we like really need to get stuff down, and at the start of this course, at the initial start of this course, we really need to get that material kind of really solid so that when we go further, like that stuff isn't going to come back to haunt you, so to speak. But this is basically the grade breakdown here. So basically 85% is coming from the test, 15% is coming from the daily assignments. So most of your grade is coming from the homework on your daily assignment. So the idea is that this is a flip class. So what's going to happen is you're going to go watch a lecture for homework, basically. There are lecture notes to follow along with. So you are going to hopefully watch the lecture, copy along with the lecture, get your notes completed and turn those in. So that's part of the grade. The other part here is the homework. So that is the homework that we're going to do. We're going to do part of that in class, and then there will be a few problems that you're going to have to finish up, probably on your own. If you need help, we just went over like all those sorts of resources. You can always try to get help on this homework. Like dogs are getting more and more rambunctious as it goes on. They're happy class is starting is what's happening. And so we have homework. And I'm not sure what is the time schedule like on the homework. When we cover this section, I believe it's due by the next day at midnight.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, I believe you're going to post up homework corrections.
Yeah. So yeah, this part's a little bit more my part. So I guess I'll talk about this. So the lecture notes is just like a kind of an accountability thing, making sure you're going through and you're watching it all and you're getting credit for it. So why not, right? Homework, as we just said, is part of in class. So you're going to be doing a bit of it in class and a bit of it outside of class. Charmaine, did you have a question?
Yes, I did want to ask, so regarding the videos, do they have closed captions? Because I'll need those to be able to watch them.
Yeah, there's some that are already on there that weren't the greatest, so we did submit it to get closed captions put on there. Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure.
Yeah, no problem. Any questions, feel free to ask. And then we have homework corrections here. So homework corrections is huge because if you don't know what you're doing wrong and you don't change it, you're going to do it wrong on the test. So it's really important that you look at that feedback. You look at us saying which one's wrong. You look at the correct way to do it and you fix it, and then you submit it and you get points for that. I know 1.25% does not look like a lot, but I will tell you, in all my years of teaching, there have been so many students that are like 1% away from the grade they want. So many that are like, I'm at a 78 point something. And I'm like, well, you didn't do any of the homework corrections, so you're getting a C. Or I'm at a 68.5 and I'm like, you're too far away. Like that's 1% and something. You could have turned in the lecture notes. Like those percents don't seem like a lot, but trust me, when you get to the end with the grades, it's really important because those together are 2.5%. So if you're at like a 67.5, that's the difference between a D and a C. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. Makes a difference. Grading scale is just the traditional grading. Well, I say traditional, but the most common traditional one I've seen. That's right there. So 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is C, 60 to 69 is a D, and then anything below 60 is an F. So this here is a very broken down explanation of what can happen in the class. Since there are 2 classes, it is possible for you not to get the exact same grade for both classes. So this breaks it down a bit. It says that if your average for the first 5 tests is higher than your total grade average at the end, that you can get that higher score can be your grade for my class. So for the developmental part. So since section tests 1 through 5 have a lot more of the developmental part on it, if you're like acing those really, really well, you're getting like A's on all of them or B's on all of them. And then you get to the last tests after that, and those are not really any developmental, and those kind of pull your grade down, then we can look at what you had on those first 5 to see if you get that higher grade for my class. Does that kind of make sense? I know it sounds a little wonky.
And if you pass the developmental part, you will get your TSI completion or whatever.
Yes.
You'll be college ready, basically.
And
So
then you could just take the standalone for the next semester. You wouldn't have to take both again if that happened. Was there any questions on that? I know it sounds a little strange.
It's a lot, but we will be here for you if you need us.
Well, hopefully everybody just passes both all completely and you all just ace everything and we won't have to worry about the confusing paragraphs.
I always felt like the first day was like one of the hardest. They just like bombard you with a bunch of information. It's like, remember all this.
That's why I definitely recommend highlight, circle, star, write notes on whatever you need on the syllabus, because it's like your guide to the class. All right, do you want to go next?
What we do in this class. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to take tests. We will have tests, and just because the class goes every day and it's like 2 classes put together, basically we're going to have tests about every other week. It talks about them being administered through lockdown browser. So if you can't make it into the lockdown browser, we're going to be in the classroom during the test. Come and see us in the classroom and we'll work things out from there. But I want y'all to try to get Respondus lockdown browser to work. There's instructions in Blackboard to get that thing to work. The other thing is this is a flipped class. So I've kind of mentioned it before, but what's expected of the class is that you go, and I have the pre-recorded lectures. We'll show you the playlist, and that's in Blackboard again. Everything's in Blackboard. There's a link to, I think, just about everything you need for this course in Blackboard somewhere. This little nugget here is Jeannie. She's bugging me. And this other one is Willy Wonka here. So if they come up, those are my dogs. This is a flipped class. Basically, you're responsible for watching the lecture as homework. So we're going to watch the lecture as homework. You're going to come in, hopefully be ready to start doing the homework. So when we come into class, what we're going to do in class is we're going to work through the first half of the homework, which is basically the completion grade. And then there's a second part of the homework that you have to work on the paper that they kind of provided. Those problems on the paper that they provided are going to be for a grade. We're going to look at that a little more closer. We're going to look at that a little closer and grade it a little more, I don't want to say sternly, I guess, right? Try to get you some good feedback about what you're doing.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I know I can only see a few of your cameras, so everyone else will just have to, I don't know, lift a hand or something on the screen. How many of you have felt in a math class before like the lecture goes too fast? Yeah. Okay. How many of you have felt like you've been trying to understand or write something so you missed something in a lecture? Most of you? Okay. So this is one of the huge reasons why we like the flipped classroom, because you can pause and you can write stuff down. You can rewind and you can watch it again. You can watch it as many times as you want. You can stop, stand up, go for a jog, do some stretching, grab some lunch, come back. It's really more at your pace. Now, of course, the lecture is recorded, but you can slow it down to what works for you. And then if you have any questions, we're here, of course, and we'll go over stuff in class. But that is why we like this option, because honestly, y'all sitting here for 2 hours every single day while we talk, it's a lot. So it's better to be able to pause it, rewind. What was that? I missed it. Rewind. Or, oh, let me pause. I'm getting too overwhelmed. This is too much. I need to step away for a second. So that is why we like doing this, so that you have the time and space to kind of spread it out or rewind and watch over and over what works for you. And again, we're not just leaving. We're still here. We're here to help you. We're not just saying watch the videos, now you should be experts. So we are still here in class and all those other ways to help you. Okay. Any questions?
I realize it's probably not what a lot of people are used to, but like this is not an uncommon like sort of course structure for like other classes. Like if you go into any sort of like my history class or like sociology or anything like that, they expect you to read before time, and then you go into class to discuss what you have read. That is like pretty typical for like higher college classes. The other thing is like we could have not flipped it and just done a lecture in class and then kind of leave you on your own to do the homework by yourself. But I feel like this adds a little extra little barrier to where we can like talk about things. And if you don't understand something from the lecture, like she said, you can ask, right? They're all hosted on YouTube. You can ask in the comments on YouTube if you want. I'll probably see them and I'll probably respond pretty quickly if you ask something. And again, if you have a question, there's 10 other people out there have the same question. They're too afraid to ask it. I guarantee you. That is how it works out.
Are there any questions or comments on that? I know it's very different, so I just want to make sure everyone kind of understands what the expectation is and like kind of why we do it.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to double check with watching the videos. So we need to watch one video every day before class.
Yeah, or the night before, kind of whatever works, just between classes.
Okay.
And then you're going to take notes. And again, your pace. So pause it, you miss something, rewind it, step up and go pet your dog, play, feed your kids, whatever you got to do so you can break it up and take that time you need to understand it. Any other questions or comments on that? It's the first day, everybody's quiet.
The next thing is what?
Do that?
Yeah, written homework assignments is the next thing. I talked about them a little bit already. I'm probably repeating myself, but that's good. Repetition gets things in, doesn't it? Written homework assignments in the form of worksheets corresponding to each topic. There are practice problems, and they're kind of divided into two different things. We get practice problems from the book, and those are things that, like, if it was a normal semester, we would just do those as sort of completion grade. So we're going to work those in class. We're going to make sure you know how to work those. And that's going to build you up to do the graded problems that we're actually going to look and sort through with a fine tooth comb, right? Sort of make sure you know what you're doing there. And again, these are things you can come get help. Like, try to get those things correct. Make sure they're correct. Ask questions about those things. There's going to be like maybe like 3 or 4 problems that are graded. It's not a whole lot, but that's why I'm trying to emphasize get them correct, right? Way checking your answers. You can ask your classmates, you can ask me, whoever you want. It is recommended that you complete all the practice problems. So this is kind of the recommendations. We're going to do that in class. So I think this is kind of maybe overkill, but I copied and pasted this, if I'm being honest. So that's why it's in there. It is recommended you complete all the practice problems and check your answers before starting on the graded problems. Assignments are set up in a way that the practice problems increase in difficulty as you go. The graded problems are probably going to be the highest difficulty. It's graded by completion and correctness. And to get the perfect score, you have to show all your work. So I don't care like if you get the answer, if I'm being honest. I want to see the work that you did to get to the answer. Math is not about getting the correct solution. It's about the like process to get to the correct solution. And so there has to be, you have to show me work. I'm not looking for like something that looks like an answer sheet. I want to see some work. I want to see your thought process.
Also for partial credit, it's huge. So if you just write an answer and it's wrong, you get nothing. You get 0 points because we have no idea where you got it from. But when you show your work and the answer is wrong, then we can look back and say, oh, well, they knew 50% of it and then they made a mistake. So then you can get more points. So it only helps you to get more points and get higher scores.
So an important aspect in learning is your peers. It's what got me through grad school. And so one thing we're going to do in here is some group work. We're going to work the homework problems in the book. We're going to work those in as a group. And we're going to talk about those in class. And then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add something on the group work. So I have had students in the past. I think I've had like 2 or 3 students in all the time I've been teaching at ACC who will say, I don't want to work with a group. And those are the expectations that the math department sets for this course. So it's not like we got together and we were like, oh, I think group work would be great. Let's just do it. It is great for a lot of reasons, but it's not even our decision that put the group work there. The math department requires this course and any other express have group work. So you are required and expected to work with your peers. So if we jump around to groups and we see you're not working, you shouldn't be getting the credit for being in class that day because you're not following the expectations of being present in class. Or if we hear from people, which I've heard before, oh, I was the only one in my group with my camera on and talking. No one else said anything. It was like they weren't there. Those are the things that are going to mess up the whole aspect of group work and doing homework together in class and working together and learning together and growing together. So everybody has to participate. That's a requirement of this class. That's not just if you feel like you're a social person, then you work together. No, it's an expectation from the math department of every student in any express class. So I just want to make sure that's super, super clear. Go ahead, Brian.
I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. It looks like all of the upload assignments on Blackboard are still 2020 and they're all 1 day off.
Oh, okay. For the due
For
date?
example, for example, the homework trial run is the due date is Tuesday, August 25th, 2021, when Tuesday is the 24th. So it's all like ahead 1 day.
Okay. We'll have
Yeah,
to go through and
we
fix
need to
that.
get their lecture notes spot up to.
Yeah.
We'll get that stuff up like shortly after class here.
Yeah. But were there any questions on group work or any concerns?
Is it okay if I type in the chat like a group me? So like after class we can like have study groups and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Just like if you were in
Okay.
class, y'all might exchange phone numbers and meet up at the library or work together or whatever the case may be.
Okay, so it's okay if I put my socials and stuff in the chat?
Yeah. And
Okay, thank you.
even like I was saying, you can meet with me. I have all those hours. Even if y'all want to come and meet with me as a group, let's say there's 3 or 4 of you that work together and y'all get along really well and you want help, you can come meet with me together and you can ask me questions as a group and I can help you. So working together is huge for this class. Yeah, Brian, you had another question?
On that note, I did send out an email earlier. Every year I make a giant Discord server for everyone that can join for certain classes. And so check your ACC email and you should probably see a link to that. That way you can join in. There's different places to share notes, study, stuff like that. So that would be a good way to do it.
So another resource or another way to learn. Yeah. So as I'm talking about that, I notice again, there's a lot of people without cameras on today. So I'm hoping that that means that y'all are going to be working on that technology tonight and we can see all your beautiful smiling faces tomorrow in class. So we can all work together, interact. All right. did you want to go over what happens if I miss something?
Yes, please, I have question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Thank you. About the books, about those books, we can find them in the Blackboard, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll go over those links in just a second after we're done. With the
Is the
syllabus.
books as a PDF or as a document, Word document, version Word document?
There's a few different versions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What happens if you miss something? So for the graded policy, there are, I think, over 30 graded items or something like that. We'll drop 4 of the lowest. I would not count on that. Like, do not bank on those grades getting dropped. Like, students do that, and it's like not a good thing for them usually. Late work policy. So we're going to give you the solutions to the homework. So we're not going to accept late work. Like the homework needs to get in by the due date. Missed exam policy. So there are really no makeup exams for this, but if for some reason you actually have a valid reason, there are a few valid reasons, and you miss an exam, you have to contact me as soon as possible. I've had people contact me days later and be like, I missed this exam. I'm like, yeah, you did. I don't know if there's a lot I can do for you at that point, man. Like, you got to contact me as soon as possible, man. And it's like, I didn't have internet. It's 3 days later. And it's like, I don't know if not having internet is really an excuse to not email someone for 3 days, especially when most of us have mobile phones that you can email from. It's like, yeah, I've got to get emails sooner than days off. If it's within a couple of hours and you're like, I have this problem that happened. Yeah, it's people. There it goes. I think it on first. There we go. It says my connection's unstable. So it does this maybe once every Zoom meeting, I think. But no late work. We don't have makeup exams. If there is actually legitimately something that happened and you can't make it to the exam and it's a valid excuse, let us know. We can try to work with you then. But in general, the exams are on the exam day. We're taking them in class, or you're going to go into Respondus and take them during class time, or you're going to come into class and see what the heck's happening there. Attendance policy. So you're expected to be here every day. You're expected to do the work every day. We're going to be doing work every day. And that's going to be one of those things. It's going to be pretty obvious when you start missing class to us. You're going to start missing assignments, and it really kind of it's a slippery slope you don't want to go down. Try to stay here. Try to stay active as much as possible. We're going to be here every day. We're going to be best friends by the time we get done with other stuff. I know y'all, and I know y'all's faces way more than I know any of my other students, because we're here for 7 hours or 7-hour course.
You'll know the names of our pets. We'll know the names of your pets. We're going to all be best friends by the end.
There's no such thing as an excused absence. You're either here or you're not. And I think that comes from the developmental part. I think that's true of all of the developmental math. It's you're either there or you're not.
So just to point out, notice that we said we dropped 4 homework assignments. That's to make up for that, my car ran out of gas, my Wi-Fi didn't work today, I'm really, really sick, I can't come to class. That's what those 4 drops are for. So yes, we don't accept late work because the answers get posted, but we drop 4 grades. So that's a whole week, right? We meet 4 times a week. That's a week of things happened in your life. So keep that in mind. If something happens, it's not the end of the world unless something is happening all the time, and then we might have a different discussion. But if you're sick one day, it can happen, and that's why we drop those 4 things. Of course, being present every day is super important, but sometimes something might happen on a day.
Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't bank on it. The material in this class builds on itself. So if you're starting to miss stuff, you could probably it's a good chance that slippery slope's going to continue that way. Expectations. So attendance, we said it's attend all sessions. Be sure to be here. participate in your groups, participate in this. Is that what it's saying? Oh, excuse me. Make use of the raise your hand tools and everything on that. So good microphone etiquette is to basically kind of keep yourself muted so there's not a bunch of background noise unless you're talking. I think even Zoom has a little, you can push the space bar and it will temporarily unmute you. So learning how these things and this technology works. I know it's a little bit of an adjustment. It's an adjustment for me, definitely. Kind of threw everything at us at once. It seemed like when we transferred to a distance, but work through it. So I think we'll get through it. Class participation policy. I think we've said like 5 times now you're supposed to participate in class. So in case it wasn't obvious, you should probably participate in class. Course description, course content, course rationale. These sorts of things are the sort of like boilerplate sort of it. This is the most boring part of the syllabus, if I'm being honest, probably. It's a good overview and probably insight into what we're going to do, and it gives you like a brief like discussion of the topics. In-depth study application, we're going to do polynomials, rational, radical, exponential, logarithmic. So maybe reading some of these words, see them for one time, they'll be a little bit less scary the second time you see them, probably, right?
I'm sure they read this on their own, right? Everyone read it? We don't need to read it out loud to you? Yeah. I will say in the bold there, it says check your degree plan. There is nothing worse than taking a 7-unit class that costs you a whole ton of money and time and then finding out later it's the wrong class. So check your degree map because you're going to be so upset with yourself later if you're in the wrong class and you put all this money and time into this class. So check your degree map.
Course objectives. You got to be able to deal with functions. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with functions, graphing them, polynomials, rational, radical, exponential, logarithmic. Come on. Graphing functions, symbolic adeptness. Look at that. That's a $5 word right there, right? We're going to simplify polynomials. We're going to solve polynomials. Fundamental theorem of algebra. That might be mildly important. It's in there. What else? Applications. Not only do we get to learn math, we get to actually apply it to some things sometimes. Everybody's favorite word problems there, right? So I think hopefully you're familiar with a lot of these terms or have some like a little bit of familiarity. If not, there they are. Quadratic, what is that? That means to the second degree, something like that. We're going to go over exponential and logarithmic. I said those words earlier, saying them again, I guess. 13, 14, student learning outcomes. Again, this is just like, I feel like this is more boilerplate stuff, but math is a language. It's a way to speak. You have to, I'm being a better communicator, right? I'm being able, I can't speak. I'm trying to talk about speaking and I can't speak, but it's about being a better communicator. And that's part of the goal of being in this class is being able to communicate these ideas to each other, right? And having a stronger understanding of the reality around us, hopefully. Perform this. So definitely
I read all this too.
Read through all this stuff. It's all basic. I think this is where what matrices come. No, 2 by 2. No, that's something else. Critical thinking. So hopefully these are the general education competencies. We want you to be a critical thinker. We want you to be able to use quantitative and empirical reasoning. You'll get your share of technology skills probably in this course, doing everything at a distance. But we want you to be better communicators, right? And it says it right there, number 4. A lot of this is about being able to better express ideas, better express things that are happening around us. Distance education information. This class is fully online. So in order to be successful in this class, you have to come in, you have to put the work in. Just like treat it like it's a physical class as much as possible is kind of my suggestion.
Yeah, please don't try to attend class while driving. I've had several students do that where they put their phone up on the little clippy thing on their dashboard and they're like, I'm totally here. Yeah, try to like, it's like a class, like be somewhere where you can, be in class.
Also, don't far enough not to grow.
At that point, I'm like, just drive, please. I don't want you to get in an accident, but
yeah. First day access. I think we talked a little bit about this. It says you can opt out of it if you want. I would not suggest doing that. I think they'll give you like some pocket change back or something maybe, but then you can't get access to the book. You'd have to buy a physical book and it's most likely going to be more expensive. So I think this they kind of guarantee their access to your money, but at the same time, they kind of give you a discount on things. So it's got a little bit of a trade-off there, I think.
Ask a question.
Yes.
Where could I apply for the accommodations?
I think that's later in the syllabus somewhere in here.
Okay.
There's a department that you go to for that you send your accommodations to, and then they work on drafting something for you, and then you give those to the professors. Are you first-time student right now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I forget the name of the department. I can look it up, but there's a department that you'll speak to.
Okay, thank you.
Importance of completing the development requirements. What does it say? First academic goal is completing development of course requirements. Just excuse me. Just our requirements. So it's important you complete development of course. I think is what that says. Withdrawal policy. Basically, we have the withdrawal date like right next to the calendar. I don't remember what it was, November 18th or something. But basically, it's your responsibility to withdraw from the course. A lot of students assume that just because they don't come to class that they might get withdrawals from the course. That's not always the way it works. And this, I don't know how to say it, but like the contract, the syllabus is sort of like your contract that you have with us, right? It's the thing, and I've seen it work kind of both ways. I've seen it work with professors and I've seen it work against professors. I've seen it work with or for the student, right? But it's the agreement we sort of have, right? And if there's anything in the syllabus, like we have to stick by it, basically. If a professor tries to deviate from their syllabus and you don't agree with them, or you think they're doing something they probably shouldn't do, like you probably should challenge that, if I'm being honest, right? It's sort of like your contract that you have with us. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's kind of like, what do I want to say? It's like, I want to cover my butt, right? It's like, you write stuff in here that, and it's probably not ever going to ever come up in class, but it's like, just in case it does, here it is. And so a lot of these things are like, sort of like, let me cover my butt sort of scenario, right?
Have you, I mean, I've only withdrawn students because they've kind of fallen off the face of the earth. Like they're just not coming to class anymore. They haven't showed up. I haven't heard from them. So I'll send them an email and say, hey, if I don't hear from you, I'm going to withdraw you. And I don't hear from them. And then I withdraw them. But usually that's the only reason that I've had to withdraw a student.
Yeah, it's usually pretty like, I'm not just withdrawing students out here, if that's what it sounds like. There's usually like quite a bit of communication before I do it. It's like, they haven't been here since the first day of class or something and turned in 0 assignments. It's like ghost, you know. Reinstatement policy, I think, says basically we don't reinstate. Incomplete policy. So I've never given an incomplete, but basically if there's like some kind of disaster or something crazy happens, that is an option that we can throw in there. I think
I had to give one. I had a student that was pregnant and her due date, she gave birth before her due date, so she didn't get to take the final, so we gave an incomplete. But those are the types of reasons why incompletes happen. So just so you know how extreme it usually is, and you have to be also passing the class like in good standing with the class to get an incomplete.
And I think this is the last page now. I think we made it through. We can cheer a little bit. Communication with your instructors. So all email through ACC should be through ACC email. They really like it that way because they kind of have a eye on things, you know. It's a little more professional that way. So generally I communicate, and I only communicate through ACC email. I've had students email me from other accounts, and I usually repost it and re-email it to their ACC email. It's like, here you go.
I think we're actually not allowed to email them if it's not through ACC with regards to their grade in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, so like it has to be their ACC email, unless it's like, what time is class? But even still, ACC email needs to be.
Yeah, even that's, I don't know. I guess, yeah.
I mean,
risky.
that's public knowledge, so you probably could say that, but.
Yeah. I haven't had problems with people doing it yet, but like there have been a few people hack Zoom, I guess. Name change information. I think that's something fairly new that they implemented. There it is. Name change information in the general course policies. There are the links for those. And I think we're done with the syllabus. Did you want to share the Blackboard? Or did you want me to
Yeah, there's also an addendum I think we have to add on that they just sent out because of COVID. I think they sent something we're gonna have to tack on as well. So keep an eye out for that. Did you see that email?
I think I saw the email. I didn't really read it, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, so that just keep an eye out, everybody. There'll be like I think it's an addendum or something we have to tack on because of the COVID policies. So that will be added on as well. Do we want to take like a 5-minute stretch break before we do Zoom? I know we just gave you a lot of information. Yeah, no one wants to take a break. Everyone's good to go.
No, that's good. We can do a break.
Okay, so we'll see you back at 1:08, and then we'll go over all the Blackboard stuff. So take a break, get some water, stretch.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go stretch for 5.
I can't. Jesus. Let me go back to class then.
Everyone get a good stretch in. I did some leg lifts. Quick stretch. Has COVID been killing anybody else with just sitting all day? All this sitting? Just me? All right.
I started sitting on my floor for some reason. It like fixes the angle on my neck.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know.
I got a stand desk that somebody had that they didn't want, so I just got a stand desk. That helps. But definitely stretching is good.
Nah, it's been pretty bad. My neck just sounds like popcorn at this point.
Oof. There's a lot of good like neck stretches you can do. You just have to do them regularly. Only if you just want your body to be okay. If you're cool with it, just like downhill.
I'm falling apart. I don't care.
Sometimes I feel like I'm way older because of that. Matthew, do you mind stopping to share? Because I can't override your share.
Oh shoot, that was not the.
Okay, you can actually make me like a host like you. I think you can have 2 hosts technically, I think. Not right now, but when you do your settings, I think you can.
All right.
All right, everybody back? I mean, I can't see a lot of your faces yet because I know we're working on cameras for tomorrow, but the people I can see, you're back. Okay, so we are going to go to Blackboard now. Any remaining pondering thoughts that popped in anybody's head on break about the syllabus? No? Okay. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I know at the beginning of the class, we was talking about the calculators and stuff. Can I get like the which one that we need, like, or like the top 3 for I could go.
Yeah, so the TIs are the ones that we recommend. Here, let me type it in the chat so you can see it. Also on a side note, Gianna, I think that's how you say your name. I sent you a link for that department you were looking for.
It's Gina.
Gina, okay, yeah, please correct me if I say anyone's name wrong. We said TI 83, TI 84, TI 89 works, right? What other TI 80s?
So
I think those are good ones. Oh,
I would say that like the 2 main things you really kind of need to look for is that they have the log and exponential is one thing, log and exponential, ln. And then the other thing is that you probably want something that can do matrices.
Matrices.
I'll type that as well. There you go. That's typed.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I was like, I got the wrong one.
Excuse me, teacher, can you put this right in the announcement on the Blackboard?
I just put it in the chat, but if you need us to include it, it's in the syllabus, right? Don't we have TI? Was it in the syllabus?
I think it's yeah, I think it said something about TI in it.
Yeah, it just said TI. It didn't have like the number.
So okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if anyone has a calculator and they want to ask us in office hours or at the end when we have some time, like, hey, does this one work? Like we're welcome to do that too. Or even if you're going to order something on Amazon and you want to screenshot it and email it to us and be like, how's this one before you buy it? Totally fine. Like just let us know and we'll check it out if you have questions. Again, the other ones do work, like the Casios and things work, but we're not fans of them. Most math people I know are not fans of them because they have some interesting, complicated functions. So TI 83, 84, 89, those are all good. I have the 84, it's the one I have. So, but if you need to see it, that's what my 84 looks like. It's 84 plus, but I think that just means it has color, and I only did that so if I'm graphing multiple things, I can show students which one is which, but you don't have to have the color. Yeah, I think she's taking a picture. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me share Blackboard. Let's dive into that. And again, you don't have to like 100% remember everything. We will upload the video. So you will be able to go back and like fast forward to wherever, if you forget like, oh, how did we turn this in again? You can fast forward, or you can ask us or ask a classmate. So this is our Blackboard class, which you all found because you're here. So everybody made it. Up here, I put our days and times of class. Here are the announcements. So this is the only announcement that we've posted so far, which everyone should have gotten their email as well. Helpful links. So this section is just kind of some links to get to things. So this was our class today. I put the recordings here. So once class is over, we'll put the video there for y'all to go see in case you want to rewatch something that we did in class. Here are those lecture videos that we talked about, those infamous lecture videos that you're going to be watching before class. So you can see that it's through YouTube, but this is what you're going to be doing at home. Any questions on that so far?
Excuse me, teacher. That is every time when we have lecture to do, you are going to post the title for the name of the lectures.
So remember in the syllabus we had a calendar. So let me
Yes. Yeah,
bring up
sorry.
the syllabus again. No, it's okay. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot. So feel free to ask questions. I think in the syllabus we have our calendar so you know which ones to watch. So if Tuesday we're going to be doing chapter 1, foundations, then you're going to want to watch it before class. So before Tuesday, you want to watch that one. So you'll go over here. Let me go back to it again, lecture videos. And then here it is right here. So chapter 1 lecture. So you're going to want to watch this before it says it in the calendar, because in class, we're going to kind of like review, answer some questions. We're going to work on it in groups, go over things together. So you need to watch it before class.
And like, I don't expect you to get 100% of it, right? I want some questions when you come to class. Like if you don't understand something, you can try to ask questions, like while you're watching the video if you want, right? Or you can come to class with the questions. Like, but like, it's not expected for you to be perfect, right? I just like,
It's just like during a lecture in class. Sometimes some professors don't like stop every time there's a question. They say like, let me finish this piece and then I'll answer questions. It's kind of like that. So you can like pause it, rewind, rewatch, take breaks, whatever you need. And again, we have all those resources to get help if you don't understand something. Okay. So use this calendar, print this, put it on your fridge, make it your screensaver, something, so you know when you're doing what things, when you're watching what things. So before it says it in the calendar, before that day, you need to watch it. Okay. All right, so back over here, I was at lecture notes. This is the respondus information. So this is for testing. This tells you how to go through and download the lockdown browser so that you have it on your computer ready to go. I believe the Chromebooks have issues, right? I've had issues with Chromebooks with respondus.
yes, and there's some weird settings in there. I got to make sure that it allows like certain devices. I think it was like the iPad devices as well or something.
Yeah, so definitely that's something you want to try to download and make sure it works before a test comes up, because if it doesn't, you're going to miss your first test. I do know that Chromebooks do not like it since we've gone virtual. All my students that have had Chromebooks have not been able to use it. So what they've done is they've gone to their local library or borrowed a friend's computer or kicked their kid off their video game computer for a few minutes and took it on there. Or some people went to ACC and just did it at the campus just for those test days.
I think, is ACC assigning Chromebooks or was that at the high school?
No,
because I had some students that had Chromebooks and they were assigned through the school. I think it might have been
no,
high school.
it's not through ACC. I don't think
Okay.
I don't think they give Chromebooks because they don't work with lockdown browser.
Yeah, I taught a bunch of high school students last semester, so it might have been their high school. It was like definitely a compatibility issue, and like no one.
So if you have a Chromebook, look right now. If you don't know what kind of computer you have, look and see. If you have a Google Chromebook, you need to write a note to yourself that you need to find a way to take your tests. So take a second if you're that person and make sure you can take your test.
I was gonna say, if you hit the little student preview, it'll show you like exactly what the students see. Might be better.
Yeah. You mean in Respondus over here?
No, in Blackboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
if you
can
go
do
to
that.
Blackboard.
Yeah, I can. do that.
Yeah, just in case anything's showing up or doesn't show up that should,
Yeah.
we'll be able to like kind of spot it out.
Yep, that is true. All right, so if you're that Chromebook person, make a note right now, put an alarm. You got to figure out your test situation. Okay, here's the link for grades. You can find the grades under tools and all that, but I like to have the link because sometimes students can't find it with whatever device they're looking at. So it's there. Any questions on the links? No? Okay, how to get help. I'm going to go real quick because we talked about this. Instructional associate, that's me and other people like me, other professors like me. They have, many of them taught this class. So if you look through, these are all the people. I'm here. I don't know why I'm in the middle. Usually it's last name based, but it's okay. I'm in the middle. So these are my open tutoring hours. What that means is you click here and you just go straight to where I am. Like if you walked into a building and you saw me at the table, you just sit down and you ask a question. So this has been really helpful for my students that are doing homework because they'll get something wrong and they'll look and they'll be like, I can't figure out why it's wrong. So then they just click here, ask me, and then they leave and go do what they need to do. So this might be good for you when you're watching your videos too. So if you see something in the video and you're like, I have no idea how we're getting this, you can click here and come and ask me, and then go back and do what you need to do without having to drive or commute or go anywhere else. So this is handy just to click in and ask questions. I also in this column have appointments. So as I said, you can make an appointment one-on-one, or you can make small group appointments if y'all want to come in like before tests and make appointments then or whenever. You can make appointments. And again, you can use any of us, not just me. It's just a lot of times students want to come to me because I know exactly what you're doing because you're in my class. Any questions on these? Good. Okay. When you click available appointments, it'll pop you over to a calendar and you can see which ones have not been taken yet. So then you can just click on it and make the appointment. All right. I will close that and go back. Learning Lab, again, you click that and there's just this thing you fill out to request an appointment with a tutor at the Learning Lab. Email us. This is what I was talking about earlier. You should not be going through your email and typing in our emails to email us. You just go here and click email us, and then you'll look for instructors. And I believe it automatically puts both of us. Yeah. Yes, it automatically puts both of us. So that's it. And then you can write your email. So just recap all instructors. Just click that and then send email. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, here are the two books. So, oops. You can look over here and see, I believe this is the PDF version. It's taken a minute to load.
I think it's the homework problems only.
Okay, so yeah, this is the exercise sets and answers. So this has the homework and the answers. So again, we're going to be primarily working on these in class, unless your group for some reason doesn't finish or whatever happens, we run out of time. But this is where you're going to go in your groups so that you can find the problems and work on them. And the answers are in here. So you can check your answers as well. Where are they at? Are they at like the end of the book or in this section?
I think they might be at the end of that stuff.
End of the book. Is there a way to go quickly?
I would probably say just like type in 180 at the bottom or something because it's
Yeah,
190 pages.
Yeah, so if you want to
there.
get to the answers rather than scrolling for like 5 years, just try typing in something later. Nope, that's not answers.
Yeah,
Just put maybe Control End, it puts you directly in the end.
I think those are the solutions.
Oh, these are answers? Okay. Let me scroll back up.
I think it's what it said at top, said answers or something. Answer key.
Oh, it
That's
just says review. Yeah, okay. Answer key. So maybe start at like, let's try like 165. Oh, what section is this? So it's just faster than scrolling through all 200 pages if you just kind of type it in at the end. I don't see a section. Is that what this number in front is, the section? So it's like chapter 8? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we want to look at chapter 1, which is what we're going to be working on tomorrow, then that's going to be on page 155. So when you're in your groups, you're going to be doing the problems, and then you'll go to page 155 to check when you're working with your groups. And then of course, we're going to do stuff together as a class, and we'll be bouncing around helping everybody and everything. But just so you know, you don't have to wait for us to come to your group to check if your answer's right. You can check here. Okay. Oh, there's a chat question.
Do we have this
no.
book as a Word document, teacher?
This is a PDF.
It's not a Word document.
No,
Not here.
there should be 3 different forms, but I don't
Yeah.
believe there is a Word doc because it would be like really big.
And really,
And there's a lot of pictures in there, so those are kind of hard to get in. Because there's that first one, and I think it's the OpenStack. Is that what that is? And then there's that download PDF.
Mhm.
You can download the PDF from there. That's the full PDF is the second one. And then the third one is Kindle. And it says you have to buy it, but you buy it for $0. It's free.
If it was me, I would probably download the PDF personally, just because I don't like having to wait for it to load. Remember how it took a while to load at the beginning? And if the Wi-Fi is kind of slow, then I might just be stuck there for 10 minutes waiting for it to load, and then I might have to like refresh, and it's just kind of a pain. So I would probably just download it so it's on your desktop, and then you can just like open it and go to whatever page you need to go.
I think there might be a table of contents in that one too, like a better one in
This
that
one?
download. In the
Oh,
download
well.
PDF.
Oh, well, I can't see without downloading it.
Yeah, you have to
so.
download it.
But once you download it, you can see that as well. But yeah, so that's how you can see the book.
I think you can also search terms in there probably, and you can probably like search chapter 1 or something if you had it to.
Yeah, you can do Control F and find stuff also. Someone was saying to do answers and see if it shows. But that can kind of be anywhere, so that might not work. Oh yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
It's a little bit easier to scroll through like 42 or 76 than like 100.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, we all know now the answers start at 155. So don't scroll, just start at 155 and then figure it out where it's at from there. So you're not scrolling from page 1 to page 155. So that might be something you want to write down somewhere. Answers start on page 155. Might be a good thing to jot. Any questions on that?
And Maricheck is a free textbook. Like, I don't know if you noticed it, but like you don't need your first day access for that at all. The first day access really comes into that next textbook.
Yeah, and this one you're not going to need for a little bit because we're using this one first, and this is all the information of how to access it. So you have a little bit of time. You can start working on this week or this weekend and kind of get started on this process, but nothing's due for this just yet. When is the first day something's due for this? I just closed the calendar.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Let me see. When is the first day? So you know how long you have to get that working. Looks like September 15th. So you have until September 15th to get that second book done. So to get it up and working. So let me click on it again.
They should have access to it. They just have to click on access to your course. It
Yeah,
should be part of the first day material stuff that you paid for already.
Yeah. Yeah. You just don't have to like stress about reading all this tonight. Like it's not due tomorrow. You have until September 15th to read through all this and get it all working and click this and do everything you need to do. So you have some time.
But you shouldn't pay for anything for your books. Like that should all be free. Like you've paid for it already. That's what I should say,
Yeah.
right?
You've already paid for it through your registration. All right. I'm pausing again in case there's questions. So I know it's quick. No? Okay. All right. So on the left syllabus, y'all are familiar with that because we just looked at that. Lecture notes. That is the paper that you want to fill out when you're taking notes. If you have a printer, I'd recommend it just to save yourself time because writing all this down is just going to take time that you don't need to take. But if you don't, you can write it on paper. Just please make sure it's organized so that we can check it and give you a grade. So like, don't do one of those where you have your paper and you like spin it and then write on a random direction and then spin it again and write on a random direction. Or where you don't number anything and you just kind of write wherever there's space on the paper. That makes it really difficult. But I believe printing is free at ACC, right?
Yeah, I
believe.
think so.
Yeah.
At least a set number of papers. I know.
Yeah, so if you want to on a weekend go to ACC and print like that week's notes, then it's all ready for you and you're just filling it in. So it's a lot less writing if you don't have a printer at home. So these are the notes that you'll be filling in when you watch those videos.
Excuse me, teacher, you mean we need to complete these papers just after the watching the lectures?
During
Yes.
it. So it goes through the problems and explaining it, and you're just kind of like taking notes so you have it in front of you when you're studying. Because if you just watch the video and don't write anything down, you'll forget.
Did you want to like click on that first one just to show?
Again, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you already clicked on it. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is just notes. You're not solving these yourself. These are when you watch your video. These problems are in the video. So you're just taking notes as you watch the video. And again, you can pause the video, you can rewind the video, you can freeze the screen, you can do whatever you need to do so you have time to write this down and listen and really understand kind of what's going on.
So when you leave class, what I'm hoping you do is you either go and put this on some sort of device or you print this out and then you follow along with that lecture video.
Because I
And
know, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the other thing you might want to print out is also the homework for that first
Yeah.
section before you come to class.
Yeah, I'll get to that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this tells you what you're writing for your notes. So a lot of times students will say, what do we turn in when we turn in our notes? Because remember, that's 1.25% of your grade. That in the syllabus, it said 1.25% of your grade is the lecture notes. So this is what you're turning in. You're just writing it from the video and like watching the video and writing it down and working through it in the video.
Yes. And then when we need to return this paper, it's from the email or
Yeah, so that is in the section.
as an attachment?
It's where I haven't gotten to just yet. Wait, where did it go? It was
There's
here.
no material in there, so it's not showing up. That's what's happening.
Oh, because we're on the student end. Okay, well, there is a
Yeah.
link right here that says, I'm going to exit student so they can see it.
We have to put I have to put a
Something
spot in there.
yeah.
It'll be up before you go watch the video.
Okay,
I'll
it looks
guarantee
like this.
that.
So see where it says flipped class notes? You'll click there and then you'll go there to submit those notes.
The
So-
homework thing should be up, so that you could probably
Yeah.
show them that.
Yeah, she was asked, yeah. So that's what it looks like for the notes, but yeah, you can turn in, the homework is already up as well. So basically anything you're turning in, I put here under turn in, so it's easier to find it. So these are the things you're turning in. Well, you're not turning in answer keys, but you need those to do the corrections. So this is where you'll turn in your notes. This is where you'll turn in your homework. This is where you'll turn in your corrections. And this is where you'll do and turn in your tests. It's all in one spot. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm just double checking. We'll watch the video, and as we're watching the video, we will do the lecture notes,
Mhm.
and then after that, then we'll do the homework. Like that, right?
Homework we're doing in class.
Oh,
We're
okay.
doing most of the homework in class. You might have to do a couple problems at home, but we're doing most of it in class in groups, and then we're talking about it as a class and doing practice in class.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Are there instructions for Genius Scan on the homework?
I don't think
Turn in
so.
homework.
We might need to add that. I thought it's right
Yeah.
here.
I think it's there. I think it says when you click on that link, it talks about this
Yeah.
Genius Scan app. I highly suggest the app that they suggest. It works really well for what you need to do. It converts an image to, I believe, a PDF.
Mhm.
You can put all your homework in one single PDF, and it's really easy to grade that way. It makes me happy when I grade. That happiness transfers to your grade. Like make us want to grade stuff. Like some people just like they write stuff so horribly. Just a little bit of neatness goes a long way, man. When you have to grade a lot of stuff.
Especially when it's like, I really want to give you the points, but then I can't read it. And then I'll take a picture and send it over to Matt and I'll be like, do you think this says this? I really want to give the student points, but I can't read it. So try to make it easy. I saw someone that said, what are we doing tonight? So recap, because I know I've already talked about all this, but recap. So recap what you're doing tonight. So remember in your syllabus, we have the calendar. So this is today. There was nothing that you had to do before class today. So this is tomorrow. So before class tomorrow, you got to watch this chapter 1 foundations video. So let me go again. So come over here, lecture videos. And again, this is recorded. So if y'all need to watch this again later, you can. Go to chapter 1, watch the video. While you're watching the video, you're going to have the notes. Where did they go? Everything's in different places for different classes. Here we go, lecture notes. So while you're watching the video, you are filling out the notes because these problems are gone through in the video. So while you're watching someone or Matt explain number 1, you're writing it down. And again, you can pause, you could listen to it first. You don't have to write it down first, or you could write it down first and then watch it again. So you can focus on listening. If you're someone who doesn't like to write and listen at the same time, you have that option. But this is where you take your notes while you're watching the video tonight. Questions on that part so far? Okay, when you are done, you are going to turn it in using the Genius Scan. So in homework, these are the directions. If you don't know how to scan stuff, if you already have a scanning app because you've been taking classes or whatever, and you know you can scan it to PDF, cool, use that. If you've never scanned something to PDF, here are the directions for you. Unfortunately, you're gonna have a little more work tonight because you've never scanned before. So you have to go here to click on that link I showed you to read through how to scan stuff to turn it in. Okay. If you've scanned stuff, skip this step because you already know how to scan it. I'm not sure how you say your name, Gianna? Is that how you say it?
Me?
Gina.
Yeah, is that how you say it? How do you say it?
Yes, Gina.
Oh, Gina. No, I was talking to, it's G-H-A-N-I-A. How do you say it?
Yes, Ganya, or you can just say
Genya. Genya. Okay. You looked a little confused, Genya. Did you have a question?
Yes, I don't understand if we can return the work, just the notes before class or not.
So this is just how to scan it. Have you ever scanned something to
No.
make it a PDF?
No.
Okay, so you're going to want to read this just the first time so you know how to turn in work for this class, for any online classes. This is usually how they have you turn it in. So you're going to want to read this first. So again, just a reminder, it was under homework. And it's this first thing, and this walks you through how to scan stuff. So you can turn in things, you can turn in homework, you can turn in tests, you can turn in notes, you can turn everything in.
There's a trial run in there they can try it out with too if they really want.
Yeah, you can also try
Try it.
turning something in here. You can just take a picture of whatever. I think it's just whatever. Yeah.
It says
You
like
can
what's
take
your favorite. It says like what's your favorite pet or something. There's a little file in there. I thought maybe not.
Oh, I don't see it. But you can try it out if you're like, I'm not sure. You can try following these directions, take a picture, send it in, and then you can email us and say like, hey, I turned it into the homework trial run. Did it work? And we can check for you to make sure that it worked.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I can't see the majority of your faces. So for all of you who I can't see, is anyone confused? Because I use a lot of visual cues. If I see you looking confused, I ask. So for all you without cameras, is anyone not sure about something? Terry, I see your fan. I hope that means you're good. You're good? Okay. All right, no one's saying anything. So hopefully we'll have all of our cameras up by tomorrow so we can tell that everyone's okay. All right, so once you've, again, watched the video, taken the notes on here, lecture notes, you know how to scan stuff. Then you are going to go and you're going to turn it in. Now I'm going to exit student view because I haven't posted the assignment yet so you can see it. So you're going to go here, look at turn in, flipped classroom. You're going to click here and there will be an assignment here for you to submit for tomorrow. So that is the only thing y'all have to do by tomorrow. So tonight's like our guinea pig night. You're going to watch the video, take the notes, learn how to scan it, and submit it here. I'm going to have the assignment here so you can submit. That is the expectation for tonight. Okay, thumbs up if you're good. No, okay, I see Carson put a thumbs up because since I can't visually see. Kathleen, are you good? Mara, are you good? Jade?
Yes,
Diana?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, Mara, Kathleen, and Diana, Diana, I still haven't heard from y'all to know if you're good. Kathleen's good. Okay, so I'm waiting on Mara and Diana. Are you good? Oh, Mara's good. Diana?
Getting some chats saying yes, good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jonathan's good. Well, I can see you, Jonathan.
I'm
You're
good.
good. If I can see you, do a thumbs up. We're good. It's just those people whose cameras aren't working today. I want to make sure that they're good. And this is another reason why we want cameras, because it takes so long for y'all to type I'm good. It's a big waste of time. Okay, Diana, awesome, cool. So tomorrow, for those of you who don't have cameras working, that's also an assignment for you. Get those cameras up and working. And everybody else, you have one video tonight, one thing of notes, turning it in, learning to scan if you don't know how. Okay. Any other things you want to do to wrap up? I know we only got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I think we went through all the links on Blackboard. Huh?
Mhm.
That was it. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the first day. I feel like we bombarded them probably with enough information to try to get down.
Question.
Yeah.
So as far as everything goes for tonight, there's no other homework, like, do we do it, I guess, on physical paper and then, hold on.
So there's 3 ways. I know a lot of you are going to ask that. You can print it and write on it. You can write it on paper. So you can copy it down and write it on paper, which is a lot more work because you have to write all the problems. Or you can write it virtually. Are you okay with that, Matthew? You're okay with them writing it? So sometimes some of y'all prefer to write like on the computer with like an app or something, or like a PDF editor or whatever. So you can use that as well.
I would not like try to type everything out with math though. Like that is like eesh. Like I've had some people try to like peck it out in Word without even doing like an equation editor or something. And it's just like, that's not, it does not look good. I don't know.
I want to make sure we can see it. That's always important. If you can't grade,
Okay.
you can't see.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? This last minute? Okay, how are you feeling? Okay, I see some sideways and some up. Okay. Okay, I see. Is that rock on? Is that what that means? Is that a rock on one? I thought it has to be this way. Is it this way? I don't know. Okay, some thumbs up. So I know we didn't get into groups today, but tomorrow we'll definitely get into groups. So make sure you're ready, you're smiling, you're happy, you can introduce yourselves to your classmates, and we'll get through this class together. Okay. I like the rock on. I haven't got the rock on before. I always get thumbs up. Or like the lifting the roof, I think is what it is. Anything else you want to add?
I guess that's it.
Okay.
They got work to start doing, I guess.
Mhm. And I'm going to be here. My office hours are after class. So if you're not sure about something and you want to ask me, just stay and I'm going to be here. So even if you want to try out something right now and just like mute yourself and then let me know if something doesn't work, just do that. But otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck. First video.
Thank you. Have a
Can I
nice.
see you? I want to wait.
Have a good one.
You too. I think you'll have to stop the recording on your end though.